Hello guys, so I want you to take a good look at this trade. Just look at the trade. You see how I immediately close the trade after price is making me uncomfortable. Why? That is exactly what you should do as a trader, because it's always better and very good for you to secure profit as compared to holding on for price to do what? Swing all the way back down and swing all the way back up. That is a terrible way to trade. If you do this, you can now go ahead and look forward to your other trades. If you are not having different trades still running, you can do what? Try your best and get into new ones. You always find a trade in the market. Now look at where the trend is currently. Just look at where the trend is currently. You can see that it has almost shot all the way back down to my zone right here. Was this a good drop? Was it going to be running inside my profits? Of course, yes. So is it not good for me to do what? Get out of the trade right here and wait for the trade to convert into an uptrend again, for me to execute a trade and target another high for price to get to. You see the mindset you are supposed to be using. Stop thinking that this pullback is just going to be a shallow pullback. You don't know what is going to happen in the market. So you get out of the trade, take your time and do what? Find another trade. I executed this trade. We had a pullback. We shot to my TPs. I got out of the trade immediately. Got another trade right here. The same exact thing. Got out of the trade. Secured my profits. Price gave me another reason to execute. I executed my trade again. What do you think I'm going to do? Around this zone, price was reversing all the way back down. I got out of my trade right here. That was the first TP. Hold on to the second TP, price shot all the way up to this zone right here. It's having a rejection. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to get out of the trade and wait for another entry to execute. Or I'm going to get out of this trade and go to another pair to manage my trades. It's that simple. Don't just stress yourself. It happens all the time. Price has pullbacks. Just don't be the person who is going to be in that pullback. Don't do that. Secure your profits. You are going to get another trade. Today, every single trade that I've taken, both on this right here and on different pairs that I've taken, I think I took about two trades on different pairs as well. Every single trade I've gotten out of it, leaving only this currently, and it's still running. If it's having a series of rejections, just like what price is doing right here, if the rejections are becoming quite enough good, what do? I get out. Secure your profits. Always secure your profits. That is the most important thing in trading. Secure your profits. When you secure your profits, you get enough trades. You get to do what? Build up your account size in order for you to execute new trades. It's just easy. Do that. Everything is going to be easy for you. Now, in this case, I was just using order flow. For the whole of today, I was using order flow, right? This trade right here dropped all the way back down. Ended up pushing all the way up and breaking character right here. I got out of the trade, secured my profits. What did it end up doing? Shoot all the way up again. Now, if I wasn't going to get out of this trade and I'm going to be like, okay, this is still pushing all the way up around this zone, price would have taken me out at what? My stop loss, right? Very simple. Price would have actually taken me out of my stop loss. And that is why you always have to secure your profits. Try your best and always secure profit. The same thing happened here. Price shot all the way up around this zone. I got out, but I had already executed another trade right here. Why? Because the order flow came back. Price came back to respect the order flow, so I get into another trade. Came back to respect the order flow, another trade. What do you think is going to happen if I go onto a different chart? I'm going to execute the same thing that I'm doing here. That's the same thing I'm going to be doing there, and I'm going to be getting out of the trades. Do not want to be in a trade forever. No. Change a different pair and trade that pair as well. Now, I do have a problem today. Something happened which I wasn't really happy about, which is price took me out of this trade. Now, you see how good this trade is. Can you see it? You can see how good this trade is. Price actually took me out of this trade, which made me very pissed. Why? Because the entry was solid. The entry was very good, to be honest. Very good entry. Stop loss very good. TP very good. But what happened? News happened. Now this is going to happen to you and you feel like your strategy was wrong or something. No, that is just the trend. news happened, took me out of this trade before shooting all the way down. You are probably wondering, how the hell did this chart take me out of the trade, right? How did that happen? Because you are looking at this candles right here, and you can see that it did not get to my stop loss. It never got to my stop loss, right? But let me show you this. It never got to my stop loss, but let me show you this. Just look at this. Let me bring this out so that you see something. Now you see my executions, right? Very nice around that zone. Very easy. You can see the arrow down there. That is my execution. Now let me show you my exit. When you come here, you'll be looking at this bias here. You think price actually took me out around this zone. No, look at the buy. You see where it is. I want to mark this zone so that you keep an eye on it. Now you see this zone, keep an eye on it, especially around this level right here. I'm going to bring the cursor back onto this, but I want you to be looking at this. You see what is going to show over there. Now you can see where it took me out. Can you see it? This is where price took me out, around this zone right here. Look at it. You see how it took me out over there before it dropped all the way back down. So this actually made me extremely pissed because I wasn't really happy about what happened. But I knew that this is just the normal thing that happens, especially when we have news. Now, I've been trading news on different pairs. I've been trading news on especially gold almost every time. You can check on this channel. I have videos on news. I've been trading it very well. I've never really had this type of trend movement. Even if this trend movement is going to happen, at least I'll see the wick shoot all the way up before the drop. But in this case, I don't see any wick. Nothing. I did not see any wick. Nothing. Price just decided to overspread, take me out of the trade and drop. There's no wick. Absolutely nothing. So if I tell you that I lose that trade, you'll probably be wondering, how did I lose this trade? Because it never got to my stop loss. Meanwhile, it actually did. It even took me out around somewhere here. My stop loss was around this zone at 3K because I executed 2 trades. So 1.5 at 3K thereabouts, but it ended up taking me out around this zone right here. So it even increased my stop loss and took me out. You see what happens? But that is not a problem because you know there's going to be a trade on a different chart. Let's go to a different chart. You're going to get a trade and you're going to execute. It's not really a big deal, right? See you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Alright, so I didn't have to add this, but I just want you to see what happened after I went out of the trade. Look at this. I went out around this zone right here. Now see where price is. At any point in this video, you are probably wondering and you're probably saying to yourself, yeah, but sometimes you leave your trade and it's run all the way up. Remember, you are dealing with money. You are on this chart because you want to make money. When you make that money, get out of the trade. Just get out of the trade. That is all. Tomorrow is another day. Look at this. The whole of the trades that I executed today, if I had left every single trade on what? Stop loss. If I had left it on break even, it would have been wiped clean with this single trend.